Welcome back to Norman Reviews, everyone, and happy Father's Day. As is the long tradition of this year, we are doing a Batman the Long Halloween on the holiday. And, it's June. Not much else in June except Father's Day. So, happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. And everyone, I just hope you have a good day no matter what. So, let's get into the book. It's chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what, 6, 7 now? It's going by fast. No, this is 7, October, 8 or 9, Jesus. It's, as I've said before, I really, really enjoy this story. It's one of my favorite stories, comic book stories of all time. One of the few instances where I'll say like a book is better than a TV show or movie. Often I'll kind of prefer a movie just because I enjoy the music that goes along with it and the performances and if it's done well. Like Jurassic Park. I'll probably always say Jurassic Park, the movie is better than a book, right? This is different. It's a comic book. But the adaptation that they did of Batman the Long Halloween in cartoon, good cast and everything. I just remember it just not being done right. That was something I had waited around for a long time to see it in animated form, and it just kind of got boring, and it like just went on, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. They changed a bunch of stuff, and it was a two-parter thing too, or was that Hush? No, I think it was Long Halloween. Anyways, so I really enjoy this book, but it's getting to the midway point where this is probably the most boring chapter in the whole book. Not a lot happens on Father's Day, as we'll see. And in fact, spoiler alert, Batman here doesn't show up once. Bruce Wayne does, and it's more about him and some other stuff going on. But Batman himself, in the costume and everything, does not appear. There's no fight. There's no big reveals. It's just kind of, all right, we need to put in, a chapter here. And so some story beats and kind of some, it advances the story, but ever so slightly. But let's get into it. But as always, chapter 9, Father's Day. It's got some great, great art by Tim Sale. And I'll point out some stuff that I like. This is the only time you'll see Batman in this chapter in his outfit, and that's just the cover page or whatever. So the last, as you know, with the story, there's some stuff going on, like a crime war between the Falcone and Maroni families. Batman, Commissioner Gordon and Harvey Dent have banded together to take them out, much like they've done in the Dark Knight movies. But at the same time, there's a holiday killer who's killing somebody for whatever reason. I'm not really sure, the reasoning for some of the killings. But he kills someone on each holiday. And that's kind of the big underlying mystery. Who is Holiday? So there's two stories going on. And this is, kind of early on in Batman's career, where some of the villains, specifically Two-Face, is not around yet. The last chapter was Mother's Day, and there's kind of like a sad moment that I picked up on last time that I didn't the first few times that I read this, where he's infected with some scarecrow toxin, so he's reliving his nightmare of his parents being shot, and the killer, Joe Chill, if that's who it is, was after, robbed them, and he talked about how he wanted the pearls that the mother had. And she only wore those pearls because Bruce Wayne, as a young boy, wanted his mother to wear them. They were only going out to a movie, and she's like, no, these are special occasions. But can't tonight be special? So he kind of pushed her into wearing them, and she did it for him. And that is the reason that, that's what attracted this guy to shoot down his parents. So it's kind of Batman's or a young boy's fault. It's not, but he has that kind of guilt, and it's just kind of a really sad moment that he wanted the pearls. So it all involved his mother on Mother's Day. Now this chapter kind of delves into some of his past of his father, And this is a story beat that they put in the new the Batman with Robert Pattinson, right? With Falcone and the history that he has with the Wayne family and Thomas Wayne here. So it's a flashback of Bruce Wayne, monologuing for whatever reason, and it opens with a splash page. His face, you see something. Good Lord! And there's a guy, and he has this body of this young man, and he's shot, and he basically Doc, he's a doctor, even though he's a fucking billionaire, but he's still a doctor. Committed the guy is, right? He's like, you need to help take care of my boy. This boy, he's a young man, but this is Carmine Falcone, right? Here's Bruce or Batman talking about I remember that he'd always have to be called out or whatever, but it was rare, or actually never, that somebody came to the door. There was a doorbell. So they lay him out, and there's Alfred, they lay him out on this dining table, and he's like, he needs to go to a hospital? He's like, no, we can't go to the hospital. He was, it was attempted murder, and Luigi Moroni could finish the job. He put a hit out on him, I guess. And I love that there's a little silhouette of Bruce up here at the top of the stairs watching, and I think that's, reflected down there too. Shadowed there. That's cool. And this is just a cool downshot scene, very simple, heavily shadowed and shaded. You got the chandelier in here. Very good perspective. Everything is accurate, and that's what just Tim Sale is just really, really good at. And you can see he has a style. It's not flashy or anything like a Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, or Rob Liefeld or anything. He doesn't have that kind of fame, but he's just so technically good. And here they are talking like this, Thomas Wayne's like, I don't need money. He's like, I'll make it worth your while. He's like, I don't need fucking money. I'm a billionaire. He's like, yeah, but you know who we are, and we can, owe you a favor, and that could be something better in the long run than money. Now, the last issue also, the police were going after Bruce Wayne because Harvey Dent suspected that Bruce Wayne was in cahoots with the Falcone family, giving them favors or whatever. So they went after Bruce Wayne specifically. And so now he's in jail. I don't know. I guess it's Father's Day now. So from Mother's Day to Father's Day, he's been in jail for nearly a month. This is just kind of cool stuff, how it closes in on little Bruce here as he's looking through the I don't know what you call these on a staircase, but the bar's there, and now he's there looking through cell bars. So then we cut to a court case where Dent is questioning Alfred, and he's like, so from that night, Thomas Wayne never accepted a bribe or a payment or anything like that. He's like, so you say that they do that, but explain the relationship and why it continues between the two sons, Carmine and Bruce Wayne. And Alfred here is fucking smart. He's like, to my knowledge, they do not have one. And he's like, okay, well, why didn't Thomas Wayne report the crime? Luigi Moroni, it's this guy here, that's Sal Moroni's dad. He'd be behind bars. He's like, maybe they did file a report, and Gotham City was different then. Police, even the district attorney's office, were rife with graft. With whatever that means. Basically, like they were, not good people back then. And then he goes on to say, and then several months later, Dr. Wayne and his wife were murdered. They were the best people I've ever known. They were gunned down in the very streets, and to this day, the killer was never brought to justice. And so Gotham City is not all that different. And Jim Gordon in the back is like, that's going to cost us. Jim Gordon doesn't like what's going on, taking on Bruce Wayne, but he kind of had to. So then we cut to Luigi Falcone, Moroni, and Sal Moroni here. Some of his men have been gunned down along with Falcone's, and he's trying to figure out what to do because of the holiday goon, and he's asking his dad, he's like, you can act like a man. And he's like, you gotta This is about Falcone, actually. You got to get the Roman before he gets you. So not a lot of action, nothing really going on. It's just kind of, words and story and character moments. But then suddenly, as we all know, it goes from not very bright colors already because of the book, the nature of the book, but then it goes to even more muted colors and gray tones. And that's when you know the holiday killer has shown up. And the dogs look up. There's the holiday killer. You never see him. He's always wearing this hat, shadowed and trench coat deal, shooting through the bushes. Shoots Luigi Moroni, the father of Sal, going in with the theme of Father's Day. The dogs run after. Holiday runs out. And there's the last shot. And there we go, leaving the gun, the nipple, and the token or the memento. In this case, it's a tie for Father's Day, because I guess fathers wear ties. I don't know. I rarely do, if ever. So Sal Moroni's fucking freaked out. He just saw his dad murdered in front of him. Cut to later that night, Roman's penthouse, and there's Sophia Falcone, and kind of the Falcone's enforcer, and just kind of he has her get things done for him. And she's reporting him that the grand jury acquitted Bruce Wayne. Took about half a minute. And he thinks about that. And he's like, okay, I have business to attend. I'll be back later. Someone's watching through binoculars right here, right? I love this look that Tim Sale put on her face right here. Like, she's this kind of sadistic, vicious woman. She's kind of a big woman and strong. But she still kind of, just craves the adoration of her dad. And she's here, and looks like she has a little gift, and she just has this loving look, like she's ready to, have a nice moment with him. And she gives it to him, and he's like, what? Happy Father's Day, and it's a tie. And he just kind of walks off. I appreciate the gesture, and these binoculars, they get smaller and smaller. Why specifically, I'm not really sure. I like the color change too. It's all like very shadowed and dark. Lots of blacks through here, but through here it's a little bit more lit up, I guess. And who's watching them? There's Catwoman. That's a really cool shot. I don't dig this outfit. I don't like these ears. They look too mousy, especially with these whiskers. I don't like that cowl. Not a big fan of this tail coming off her like that, but it's a very well done drawing. I love the shadows here that comes into the building, the details and the lack of details back there. It's just really well done. Just a cool image. And there's little James, James Gordon, his boy James, and has a gift for him because Commissioner Gordon's been working this case for months, and he's coming home late. It's taking a toll on his marriage, like it would. And he's like, "Oh, what you got?" This is something I've done. I guess all dads have done with their young sons. I have a son who's almost 3. Sometimes if I come home late and I didn't see him, I'll just go in there and check on him. Even though I know he's fine, I'll just want to put my hand on him, just exactly like here. He's like, "What you got there?" And he has a gift. And again, a tie, but it has these little handprints on it, from his little boy. You and your mother have been busy. I did this for Mother's Day, not with a tie, but like a hat. My son chose the hat. It was a pink hat, a snapback hat, and we put his hands in some paint, a bunch of rainbow colors, to also help with, celebrate Pride, and put it on the hat. It was really nice and sweet. And it came out really well. I don't know what I'm getting for Father's Day yet, if anything. But he puts it on right away. It was kind of just a nice little moment for him. And then we cut to Harvey Dent. I love this little panel and this house with all the details on it. Again, the perspective is done accurate and perfectly done with the shadows here on the chimney, the little detail of the tire swing and the tree. And I love, for whatever reason, I was looking at this, I love like the brick or whatever details in here, and then it just stops. I would want to like keep doing that, like what, or not do it at all. Like the choices he makes are just really kind of boggling to like how an artist will choose to do something like this. Like I don't know. I either would do it all myself as an artist or not do it at all. That's just how my brain works. But this just looks so cool. I love this little panel. It's just a house. And there's Gilda, Harvey Dent's wife, and she's coming down here, and he's in his basement. He's being creepy as fuck. And he's talking about how he went to see his dad. He's like, oh, and let's see if there's anything back here. Yeah, he has this workbench back here, and we saw this early on, I think, in the book with the Holiday Killer. Yeah, right here, a workbench, as he files off the serial numbers of the gun here. So we've seen this a couple of times, and so we're starting to suspect Harvey Dent could be the Holiday Killer. We know he turns into Two-Face at some point, right? But what's going on here? But he's like, he's still crazy as ever, but he gave me something, and it's this coin. And there's, the Two-Face coin, and I love how he's just in the shadows here. And he's talking about, the jury just got Wayne off, like no problem. It's like they flipped a coin. Heads, he wins. Tails, I lose. He's just kind of like feeling that he's losing everything, but he's flipping the coin there. Up and down, up and down. And then I love this. I don't know if he meant to do this or not, but like I love how the hand is like heavily shadowed in one half. It's like almost, foreshadowing the Two-Face persona that's going to be eventually coming. Half and half. Lightning striking through the air, and here we have a fucking scarecrow in some creepy laboratory, and he's doing the pat a cake. Baker's man, bake me a cake as fast as you can. He's just kind of being crazy. I don't know. He's got some fire here, and more Batman monologue, and he's talking about how Scarecrow escaped Arkham, but he did not do this alone. He had help, and there's this little guy coming up. Weird font. Scarecrow's looking at him, and it's the Mad Hatter. So we're just introducing almost every single chapter a new classic Batman rogues villain. I love that they got these birds up here for whatever reason. It's just, the perspective on here. And these guys get into a little argument because they're fucking crazy. He's doing his rhyme, he's doing his rhyme, I guess. I don't know. And but there's Falcone. He comes in and he's like, we have business regarding the Gotham City Bank. And so Carmine has been using, I don't know what they would call them, the super criminals, freaks, whatever. And you're not supposed to do that as the mob, like the mob families. You're not supposed to enlist these crazy people to help you. But he's had Poison Ivy do some stuff earlier. He had the Riddler trying to figure out who Holiday Killer is, and now here he is helping these two and having them do crimes for him for whatever reason. And here's Bruce. He's back in Wayne Manor. And they're just kind of talking about that night and what if my father hadn't saved him, the world would be different. But, that was his way. He was going to save people, much like Batman does. So Batman, he's like, keep wondering, like, what would happen if that had happened? What would life have been like? And Alfred is kind of thinking to himself, it's pointless in wondering that, as pointless as it been if I had been a different sort of father to you, how different your life might be. So, Alfred has been the father figure, and he kind of has some blame, or feels some blame, for Batman in his current state. Like, if he was just a better father figure for him, maybe he wouldn't be the Batman and have this life of nightly torture of a superhero. He could be happy, but, it is what it is. But Master Bruce looks bald right here. That's funny. But he's just sad. He misses his dad. Like, I get it. And the very last page. So Harvey Dent's coming into his office late. He's like yelling at his assistant. It's like, you're getting me out here in the middle of the night. What's so important? And there's Sal Maroney. And he's, covered in blood with his father's tie. He's like, you want a piece of me? We both want a piece of Falcone. Maybe it's time we found out what we can do for each other. So that's the end. So now he's coming in to help Harvey Dent take down the Falcone crime family, I guess. An informant, snitch, you tell me. And that's the end of the chapter. Father's Day, not a lot of exciting stuff. Probably the coolest thing in this whole book was Selena Kyle's ass right there, taking the opportunity. But it just slowly pushes the story forward. And I think I remember reading this for the first time. This chapter, and even the one before it, you're reading it, you're acknowledging everything that's going on, but you're just like kind of going through it and you forget about this whole section. But it is what it is. So the next one, we'll see you on Independence Day on July 4th for the next chapter. Thank you for watching. I'm going to try and get some more videos out. Some X-Men stuff, some Frank Cho stuff. I don't know. We'll see what we can do. Maybe some video game stuff. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.